This is Maximus Aviation.
Greetings everybody, Maximus here, back in the saddle once again, because hell didn't want me and heaven wouldn't have me. I have to apologize for the voice. I went through a bit of a medical issue lately, and apparently after they shove tubes and hoses down your throat to help you breathe, it wreaks havoc on the old vocal cords. So apologies if I sound a bit different, and hope it's not too irritating. But I should be as good as new in a little while. But I don't know, it's kind of cool. I got a little Barry White thing going on. Anyway, the news goes on. So let's do some news. Well, Airbus is coming up short on millions of parts it needs to produce their aircraft, and the situation is getting worse rather than better. Airbus warned that it's experiencing a shortage of engines, aerostructures, and cabin interiors, which in turn is sabotaging the company's delivery plans. As a result, Airbus scaled back a slew of longer-term goals from operating profit, cash generation, and forecasted jet deliveries down to a new monthly low, especially of its cash cow A320. Airbus has been warning of potential shortages since the pandemic. However, what has changed is the scope of the problem. Airbus CEO Guillaume Faury says that engine shortages are now coming up as the latest pinch point. That's a new situation we're not expecting, Faury said. Airbus now expects to deliver 770 aircraft in 2024 rather than the 800 it predicted. Deutsche Bank analyst Christophe Bernard, who called Airbus's profit warning stunning, said that the dust needs to settle before we can turn positive again. June deliveries are apparently sluggish, and there's no guarantee at this stage that the new delivery target will be easy to achieve by year-end. Faury told reporters that the situation isn't getting any better, requiring the company to adjust its goals. Faury said that cabin parts, for example, are in short supply because airlines are refurbishing older planes, meaning shipments to Airbus are constrained. Many airlines have complained that aircraft deliveries are delayed, forcing them to fly older kit for longer. The CEO said in an interview earlier in June that any supply issues might persist for the next 2 to 3 years. But Faury cautioned that economic and geopolitical changes are contributing to the situation and are here to stay for a while. Compounding Airbus's woes are issues afflicting the engines on its best-selling A320 model, which are both powered by either Pratt & Whitney or the LEAP CFM International engines. Faury said that the situation has significantly degraded in recent weeks, and that the company will end up with gliders by the end of the quarter. That's industry parlance for planes without engines. He said engine issues are becoming more prevalent after appearing to be more under control in 2023 and in the beginning of this year. Well, in other news, the U.S. NTSB issued a strong rebuke to Boeing late on Wednesday, June 27, and said it's going to sanction Boeing. The move follows comments by a senior executive who spoke to a media gathering the Tuesday before and disclosed new information related to the cause of the Alaska Airlines fuselage blowout in January. Boeing is a party to the NTSB investigation. However, by long-established rules and signed agreements, only the lead investigating agency, in this case the NTSB, is authorized to reveal details of an investigation and to provide analysis of an incident's cause. This protocol, acknowledged worldwide for all commercial airplane accidents, is designed to ensure that no party involved tries to skew the public perception of what happened before a final independent report. The National Safety Authority in the country where the accident happened is expected to be the sole source of all public disclosures. But in a harsh statement, the NTSB said Boeing blatantly violated the NTSB investigative regulations, and Boeing signed party agreement with the NTSB by providing non-public investigative information to the media and speculating about possible causes of the January 5 door plug blowout. The NTSB said few entities know the rules better than Boeing. Accordingly, it says it may impose a series of restrictions and sanctions on Boeing. Although Boeing will remain a party to the investigation, providing technical expertise where needed, it will no longer have access to the investigative information the NTSB produces as it develops the factual record of the accident. In addition, the NTSB said it will subpoena Boeing to appear at an investigative hearing into the Alaska Airlines incident that is scheduled for August 6 and 7. But unlike other parties to the investigation, Boeing will not be allowed to ask questions of other participants. Also, ominously for Boeing, the NTSB said it would refer Boeing's recent conduct to the Department of Justice. As you recall, back in May, the DOJ said Boeing had violated its 2021 settlement prosecution agreement that shielded it from criminal charges over interactions with the FAA prior to the MAX crashes in 2018 and 2019 that killed 346 people. Meanwhile, in other Boeing and Airbus news, we now have a clearer picture of how the two companies will be splitting up the purchase of dual parts supplier Spirit Aerosystems. According to Reuters and Bloomberg, Boeing has offered to acquire Spirit Aerosystems in a deal funded mostly by stock that values its 737 fuselage supplier at about $35 per share. That offer is worth about $4.8 billion US based on Spirit's outstanding shares as of May 7, 2024. Boeing's latest offer is different as it has switched from an all-cash to all-stock deal. And while the final terms of the latest offer are still being discussed, Bloomberg reports it still could include a small amount of cash, adding the deal is expected to be announced within a matter of days. And as for Airbus's relationship with Spirit, well, Airbus is now poised to take over all or part of the operations of 4 Spirit Aerosystem plants as part of an impending deal that involves a carve-up of the US-based aerostructures maker with Boeing. As expected, the 2 main plants involved in the transfer to Airbus are Kinston, North Carolina, where Spirit makes a crucial part of the A350 fuselage known as Section 15, and a historic plant in Northern Ireland that makes carbon wings for the A220. Additionally, Airbus is expected to absorb the factory in Casablanca, Morocco, where Spirit does some fuselage work for the A220 and produces some engine nacelles for housings for the A320. Airbus is also expected to take over Spirit's plant in Saint-Nazaire in western France, while other Spirit plants include Wichita, Kansas, as well as Prestwick in Scotland, Subang in Malaysia, and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, this next story is about the sexiest damned airplane ever built. Oh yeah. We're talking about the Boeing 757. Because FedEx has permanently retired 22 Boeing 757-200 freighter aircraft as part of a downsizing to better align the air fleet with slower parcel demand. FedEx said it took a $157 million impairment charge for permanently deactivating the 757 cargo jets, along with 7 engines. The older 757s were expendable because they're less fuel efficient than the other planes operated by FedEx, which still has 92 of the narrow-body freighters in its fleet. By the end of September, FedEx will no longer be the primary air cargo provider for the U.S. Postal Service after UPS recently won the 5-year contract. FedEx management said that it expects volumes to be near the contract minimum until then as business transitions to UPS, but afterwards it will achieve significant cost reductions in the U.S. domestic network as it adjusts its operations in line with reduced aircraft requirements. And finally, don't click away yet, because this young unknown aviation YouTuber is Dutch pilot Narine Melkumjan, and yeah, I probably butchered this poor girl's last name. So if you know how to pronounce it, let me know down below. But until recently, she had a tiny YouTube channel and a handful of views. But suddenly, she has become an overnight aviation influencer sensation by sharing an amazing video highlighting her titanium knickknacks that, believe it or not, a video she called embarrassing. So much so that since she started her channel back in 2022 with only 6 videos until this viral video, she never posted this stunning example of piloting. However, she finally decided to post the amazing video from 2019 this month. But according to the story in the site Aerolive, back in 2019 during her second aerobatic training mission, the canopy of her extra 330LX opened in flight and shattered. Narine said that it was a challenging experience that could have been avoided if she made a proper visual check before taking off, as the canopy locking pin had never gone into the locked position. She also said that she was flying without any eye protection that made it even more challenging than it already was, and it took her nearly 28 hours to fully recover her vision. Also, due to all the noise, it was difficult for Narine to hear her coach's instructions on the radio, but it was basically just keep flying. And that she did. Narine, originally born in Armenia but now resides in the Netherlands for over 20 years, she is an EASA certified commercial pilot. She also holds an aerobatic single engine or SEP rating, a multi-engine or MEP rating, as well as an instruments SEP and an instruments MEP rating. And last but not least, she also became an EASA certified flight instructor. In addition to that, she has won countless awards for her skills as a pilot in aerobatics in various countries in Europe. Wow. Just amazing. An amazing piece of flying, to be sure. And man, her poor peepers sure took a beating. But let this be a lesson to all potential YouTubers out there. Always start your channel out with your best stuff, especially if you think it's embarrassing. Because as an often embarrassed, dyslexic YouTuber myself, a viral video is always the best cure for embarrassment, and it will get your channel off to a flying start. So well done, Narine. That was nothing to be embarrassed about, and you are a true aviation rock star. And with that, and my new voice, at least for now, I will leave the rest up to you. So don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, yeah, this is Maximus.